didn't see you there. I was just performing my most accurate reenactment of the way the Broncos destroyed the fucking Raiders. Finally, after 4-5 fucking years, we beat the fucking Raiders and we beat the fuck out of them. We beat them so bad that Gardner Minshew got fucking sacrificed. Ah! The Broncos started out colder than a Canadian winter, giving up this 57-yard touchdown pass from the mustache man to King Bowser, who apparently can jump and sprint really fucking fast. Wait a minute, that's not right. Daniel Carlson would tack on a field goal near the end of the first, making the game 10-0 Raiders at the start of the second. It was all Broncos after that, though the onslaught didn't start immediately. Will Lutz banged through a field goal at the start of the second quarter to make it 10-3, before Pat Surtain said, "Let me put the squad on my back," and tied things up with a 100-yard pick six, nearly breaking a Broncos franchise record set by Aqib Talib in 2017. Lutz would miss from 59 to end the half, but the Raiders penalty gave him another shot that he drilled to let the Broncos take a 13-10 lead to the locker room. Bo Nix got heated and took it out on Sean after Troy Franklin dropped a wide-open touchdown on an absolute bomb, but the Broncos would respond on their next drive with a 4-yard touchdown pass to Jaleel McLaughlin. Bo Nix would jump one into the end zone on a sneak before finding Josh Reynolds on the very next drive to put the game on ice. The Raiders got a consolation score and a 2-point conversion at the end, but it was far too little, far too late in a 34-18 Broncos win. This game was both everything I did and didn't want to see from the Broncos offense. Bo Nix looked a little shaky early, the swing passes and the short stuff still weren't doing jack shit, but Javonte Williams was kind of on a mission today. The Broncos backs totaled 19 carries for 83 yards, beating the Raiders backs by 3 yards on one less carry. Jaleel McLaughlin made out with a touchdown catch, another crazy odyssey to the corner of the end zone for our shifty friend. It wasn't really until the second half and the sideline altercation between Peyton and Nix that got a fire lit under Nix and the offense, culminating in Jaleel's touchdown, Josh Reynolds' only catch, which went for a touchdown, and Bo Nix's rushing touchdown. The second half, as usual lately, looked much more efficient. Bo played really well throughout the day, especially the second half, and the screen passes actually kind of worked sometimes. Outside of those, he looked like a more confident quarterback in that second half. There were still major separation issues for the receivers, and the call-up of Lucas Kroll really didn't change anything from a tight end perspective. Nix played by far his best game as a Denver Bronco, beating out the Bucs game easily. I think this is a nice performance to build a foundation off of, and this should be the game that finally convinces Sean Payton to take the goddamn leash off and let him cook. Now let's compare numbers. Nix had a good efficient day, going 19 for 27 for 206 yards and 3 total touchdowns, 2 by air, 1 by land. The Raiders passers had a hellish day, going 22 of 37 for 231, losing 16 total passing yards, sacks, 1 touchdown, and 3 interceptions. Looking ahead, as of recording this via ESPN, the Chargers are a top half of the league defense, ranking top 12 for pass yards per game, top 7 in total yards per game, and 5th in rush yards per game. They've quietly been pretty good on that front this season, so it'll be yet another test for Bo Nix and co. They have to be ready to stop Khalil Mack, another elite pass rusher, and a long line of them to start this early third of the season. But I think if the Broncos offense can continue to build off of what they've been doing so far, they've been running the ball better as of late, and Bo Nix has, again, I think he has become a more confident quarterback, and I think this game should be the one where Peyton decides, all right, maybe we can take the leash off him. I think if they can build off of this, I know I said this against Tampa Bay going into the Jets game, but if they can build off of what they did here and Sean Payton has the balls to let Bo Nix off the leash, I think they can beat the Chargers, and they'll be playing at home too, so they have that going for them. That is kind of the perk of having a lot of early road games on the schedule, or a lot of road games early on the schedule, so we'll have to see. Now, defensively, there's honestly not a lot that I can say that I haven't already. Vance Joseph called another great game after a poor start, so it was great to see that unit be able to rebound it through and against adversity. The Broncos got 3 sacks, yes, but the elephant in the room is Patrick Surtain. He had an amazing pick six to turn the tides of the entire game, swinging momentum in the Broncos' favor that they never really let go. Riley Moss is blossoming into a great corner in his own right, which starts to beg the question, who the fuck do you throw on this defense? McMillan is no slouch in the slot, really leaving the safeties as the only guys to reliably get yards on, and even then, that's not a guarantee. The linebackers also. The only real heel with this unit right now is the run defense, and even they've been improving as of late. The Raiders game wasn't the prettiest. VJ wouldn't have had World War I over by Christmas by any means, but this is a legit unit that continues to prove themselves week after week. The media is going to have to pay them proper attention soon, whether they like that or not. Now, compared to the Raiders defensively, the Broncos were the better unit for the final 3.5 quarters of the game by far. Despite giving up more yards, the Broncos were much more opportunistic, snagging interceptions and even scoring themselves, as I said. This team rides and dies by the defense, as this unit has single-handedly kept them in games a lot of people thought we'd lose, or at least lose worse than we did. This ragtag group is still crushing it. They got the mustache man benched, for Christ's sake. They might have killed Minshew Mania. But, jokes aside, the one thing that I really kind of want to get across here is I do not want to hear anyone call Sauce Gardner the best cornerback in the league. Not when Patrick Surtain is doing shit like this, and not with the way he has shut down receivers through the past 5 weeks. This man is having, honestly, like a Champ Bailey type season. I forget which one was like his super really, really good one. I want to say it was like 08 or something like that. Pat Surtain is right now, I think, having one of the greatest corner seasons of all time. And until I see Sauce Gardner match that, Pat Surtain's my number one, bro. Pat Surtain's my GOAT right now. Not greatest of all time, but he is my number one corner right now, and he is certainly earning that goddamn paycheck. Overall, this game showed me exactly what the Broncos can be if everything starts to click, and the thing that makes me the most excited is that this isn't even their final form. Nix is working with some less than ideal receiving targets right now and still finding ways to move the ball when he has to. Hopefully Sean Payton is learning that he needs to unleash Bo like the Commanders have with Jaden Daniels. This Broncos team is competitive, and a 3-2 start with a blowout and a close win on the road brings me a lot of hope for not just this season, but especially next season. Now, with all of that being said, those are my thoughts on the Broncos' 34-18 win over the Las Vegas Raiders. Subscribe if you enjoyed, and I'll see you when I preview their next matchup against the Chargers in my brand new series, Speed Previews. None of it's really too relevant now, but if you do want to go check that out, that is also on the channel. So, see you guys, and keep crushing it. God bless Bo Nix, and go Broncos.